Welcome to my channel. Today's story is about a woman named Lillian Hart, a widow who had no children of her own but longed for a family. Finally, she adopted 4 children and raised them as her own. Lillian lived in a small town called Willow Creek, where everyone knew her as a kind-hearted woman. She had been left alone early in life, having lost her parents and never married again. After the death of her husband, despite the town urging her to remarry, Lillian refused, saying, I only wanted to spend my life with one man, and now I don't want to betray his memory. Years passed, and Lillian gave her love and care to the 4 children she adopted. She worked tirelessly, cleaning houses, washing dishes, and doing everything she could to provide to them. She often said, When I grow old, my children will be my support. But as the boys grew, 3 of them fell under the influence of the bad habits. They began showing disrespect toward Lillian, forgetting all the love and sacrifices she had made for them. The youngest, Ethan, however, was always loving and protective of his mother. Ethan tried to guide his brothers, saying, Mom works so hard for us. We should help her. Let's all work together, and she won't have to struggle so much. But the older boys were stubborn and cruel. They began drinking and became violent when they didn't get what they wanted. Lillian, exhausted but loving, gave her hard-earned money to them so they could feed their habits, always praying for their guidance. Her heart ached when she saw Ethan beaten, yet she continued to protect all her children. Despite everything, Lillian never gave up. She believed in Allah's mercy and hoped that one day her boys would find their way back. One day, a mysterious old man, a wandering sage, came to her door seeking food. Lillian gave him the best portion of the bread without hesitation. The sage watched her closely and said, I have come to test your heart. Will you feed the hungry even if you yourself are starving? Lillian smiled and replied, Of course, that's the right thing to do. The sage then told her, Your trials are almost over. Your ungrateful children will face the consequences of the actions, but the obedient one will remain by your side. You will see justice. Following his guidance, Lillian discovered a hidden treasure buried in a small storage room. She realized his wealth was a gift, but she had strict instructions: only use it for genuine needs without greed, and never let her ungrateful children find it. Ethan fell sick one day and needed medicine and proper food. The older boys, however, had taken all the money he brought home. Lillian remembered the sage's instruction and used the treasure to buy medicine and prepare a feast for Ethan. She didn't tell anyone about the hidden wealth. When the older boys returned and saw Ethan enjoying a delicious meal, they became suspicious. She is hiding money from us, they whispered to each other, the greed growing stronger. They began plotting to find the treasure, disregarding all respect for the mother. Lillian warned them, Children, do not dig here, this is dangerous, and your greed will destroy you. But they ignored her. As they tried to access the treasure, a giant snake guarding it appeared. The boys, blinded by greed, struck the snake and tried to attack their mother. At that moment, a miraculous event occurred. The 3 disobedient boys were transformed into dogs, barking at the sky, a divine punishment for their sins. Lillian was horrified. Oh Allah, what has happened to my sons? How can I bring them back? She cried. Ethan, who has witnessed everything, ran to her side. Mom, it's Allah's justice. They were cruel to you and now they face the consequences, but we can find a way to help them. Following the advice of the sage, Lillian and Ethan used a part of their treasure to feed 100 needy families, asking them to pray for the boys. They worked tirelessly, feeding the poor, giving them warmth, and performing acts of kindness every day. The sage had told them, Only when your sons realize their mistakes, repent sincerely, and seek forgiveness from Allah, will they return to the human form. Lillian prayed fervently, never giving up hope. Days turned into weeks, and Lillian and Ethan continued their charitable acts, helping the poor and asking for Allah's mercy on the 3 transformed boys. Finally, one day Lillian heard family voices calling her. The 3 boys were back, returned to their human forms, filled with regret and tears in his eyes. Mom, we are truly sorry. We will never disobey you again. We understand your mistakes. They said. Lillian embarrassed them with tears of joy that abandoned their voices, worked alongside Ethan, and promised to live a righteous life. The hidden treasure was shared with the needy, and the family rebuilt their home with love and honesty. Lillian had raised her adopted children with love greater than most mothers could, and through patience, kindness, faith, justice was restored. This story teaches us to respect your parents, value their love, avoid greedy, and stay on the path of the righteous even when life seems unfair. Patience and kindness can bring miracles. Always remember, no act of goodness goes unnoticed by Allah, and sincere prayers can change destinies. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories.